Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Monday, February 22, 2021. CNN report: Minnesota priest auctions off baseball card collection for charity. Father John Ubel has been collecting baseball cards for 50 years. Now, he is stepping up to the plate and auctioning off his most valuable cards to raise money for grade school scholarships in St. Paul, Minnesota. Want more inspiring, positive news? Sign up for The Good Stuff, a newsletter for the good in life. It will brighten your inbox every Saturday morning. Ubel, a lifelong Minnesota Twins fan and the rector at St.
Fox report: Italian ambassador to Congo killed in attack on UN convoy. The Italian ambassador to Congo, an Italian Carabinieri police officer and their Congolese driver were killed Monday in an attack on a UN convoy in an area that is home to myriad rebel groups, the foreign ministry and local people said. The ambush occurred as the convoy was traveling from Goma, Congo's eastern regional capital, to visit a World Food Programme school feeding project in Rutshuru, the U.
Deutsche Welle report: U.S. wants to strengthen Iran nuclear deal. The United States and its partners will work to lengthen and strengthen the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran, Secretary of State Antony Blinken pledged at a UN-backed disarmament conference in Geneva on Monday. At the same time, President Joe Biden's administration will address Iran's destabilizing regional behavior and ballistic missile development and proliferation, Blinken said. The United States remains committed to ensuring that Iran never acquires a nuclear weapon. Diplomacy is the best path to achieve that goal.
Al Jazeera report: UN calls on Somalia to hold delayed polls as soon as possible. The United Nations envoy for Somalia has called on leaders in Somalia to reach an agreement on holding elections as soon as possible, in comments made days after gunfire broke out during an opposition demonstration in the capital, Mogadishu. In a quarterly video conference of the UN Security Council, James Swan on Monday urged all of Somalia's political leaders to pull back from confrontation and avoid risky winner-take-all tactics.
Deutsche Welle report: German mayor suspected of jumping vaccine queue. Police searched mayoral offices in the central German city of Halle on Monday over claims that city officials got anti-coronavirus vaccinations ahead of time. The country is currently focusing on immunizing health workers, the elderly, and those with pre-existing conditions. The likely charge, said prosecutors, was misappropriating state-supplied items. Federal orders on leftover doses prioritize persons facing extreme or even fatal risks posed by the virus SARS-CoV-2.
BBC report: Donald Trump ordered to hand over tax returns to prosecutors. The former U.S. president has been refusing to release the documents for several years, despite a precedent that presidential candidates should do so. A lower court had earlier ruled that the records were pertinent to a criminal investigation. The ruling does not necessarily mean the files will be made public. A grand jury is set up by a prosecutor to determine whether there is enough evidence to pursue a prosecution.
Fox report: Los Angeles parents organize Zoom blackout to protest school closures. Enough is enough. A parent in Los Angeles told Fox and Friends on Monday that she helped organized a Zoom blackout as part of a protest to reopen schools for in-person learning because there is a really big urgency to get our kids back in school. Cynthia Rojas said she is speaking out because she feels parents in the Los Angeles Unified School District (LAUSD) are being misled. The Zoom blackout started Monday and will continue for as many days as it takes, according to a flyer which added that enough is enough and that parents can no longer sit by and wait for UTLA to come up with more excuses to keep our schools closed.
Fox report: Israel beaches covered in tar after oil spill. From Nitzanim near the Gaza Strip to the shores bordering Lebanon, 106 miles of the Mediterranean coast have been covered with tar. The pollution was noticed first on Wednesday, but stormy weather the following day carried out the oil and tar to Israel's beaches. Thousands of volunteers organized by various Israeli environmental non-governmental organizations (NGOs) joined efforts to clean the beaches and save the animals that were hurt.
CNN report: Nigeria crashed aircraft was on rescue mission for kidnapped schoolchildren. Nigeria's Air Force has said its plane, which crashed shortly after takeoff from Abuja Airport on Sunday morning, killing everyone on board, was on a mission to rescue the schoolchildren kidnapped last week. A spokesman told CNN the aircraft was on surveillance operations in Niger State as part of efforts to rescue at least 42 schoolchildren and staff members taken by gunmen from the government science school Kagara last Wednesday.
CNN report. This Bitcoin bank stock has jumped nearly 1,300% in just over a year. The boom in Bitcoin prices is giving a huge lift to a California bank that accepts cryptocurrency deposits and doles out Bitcoin-backed loans. Shares of Silvergate Capital (SI) are up more than 120% so far this year, and the stock has skyrocketed nearly 1,300% since going public in November 2019. Increasingly more financial services firms, such as Bank of New York Mellon (BK), Visa (V), MasterCard (MA), and BlackRock (Block), are starting to embrace Bitcoin.
BBC report. Rohingya crisis. UN urges rescue of refugees adrift at sea. Their boat is believed to be stuck near India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands, having set out about 10 days ago. It is thought the vessel has run out of food and water and that many passengers are ill on board. Thousands of Rohingya from Myanmar have fled to neighboring countries since a military crackdown on them in 2017. The Arakan Project, a human rights group, says at least 8 people on board have died, mostly from dehydration.
CNN report. There's never been a time like this. Wall Street is piling into trading cards as prices soar. Ken Golden has sold sports trading cards for 4 decades. What happened earlier this month still shocked him. In early February, a Michael Jordan rookie basketball card in pristine condition sold for a record $738,000 at an auction run by Golden's company. The kicker? The exact same item went for nearly $215,000 just weeks before. There's never been a time like this in the history of the business, Golden told CNN Business.
Al Jazeera report. Copper rises over $9,000 as supply tightens in pandemic recovery. Copper rose above $9,000 a metric ton for the first time in 9 years, taking another step closer to an all-time high set in 2011 as investors bet that supply tightness will increase as the world recovers from the pandemic. Copper is surging amid a broad rally in commodities from iron ore to nickel, while oil has gained more than 20% this year. The bellwether industrial metal has doubled since a nadir in March, boosted by rapidly tightening physical markets, prospects for rebounding economic growth and the expectation that a years-long era of low inflation in key economies may be ending.
Deutsche Welle report. EU agrees to plan sanctions against Russia. Foreign ministers from the EU member states agreed on Monday to impose sanctions on 4 top Russian officials, following the crackdown against supporters of the Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny, diplomatic sources told news agencies Reuters and AFP. The symbolic response came after France, Germany, Poland and the Baltic countries urged the bloc to take steps against the Kremlin. EU diplomats told reporters that the meetings did not address specific names.
Al Jazeera report. Libya. More than 150 migrants freed in raid on traffickers. Libyan authorities say they have raided a secret prison in a southeastern city used by human traffickers and freed at last 156 African migrants, including 15 women and 5 children. The raid in the city of Kufra took place on February 16 after a migrant managed to escape a house-turned-prison last week and reported to authorities that he and other migrants were held and tortured by traffickers there, the Kufra Security Bureau said.
Fox report. Florida Sheriff's deputy rescues missing girl, 13, from motel room with adult man she met online. Police. A Florida sheriff's deputy rescued a 13-year-old girl from inside a dark motel room where she had gone with a 22-year-old man she met online, officials said Monday. The Volusia Sheriff's Office received a report of a missing child around 6:15 p.m. Thursday and learned from the 13-year-old's grandmother that the girl, an Oak Hill resident, never came home from school. She also never showed at a basketball game after school, the office said in a Monday Facebook post.
BBC report. COVID. US on verge of exceeding 500,000 deaths. It comes just over a year after the first infection of the novel coronavirus, first detected in China, was recorded on the US West Coast. The grim milestone will be marked by a candle lighting ceremony and moment of silence at the White House. President Joe Biden will also deliver remarks. More than 28.1 million Americans have been infected, another global record. The number of Americans who have had the coronavirus is nearly double that of second highest India 11 million and Brazil 10.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.